In this video, we're going to go over subtracting rational expressions. Step 1 is going to be to factor the denominators, only denominators. So this one here on the left, x squared plus 5x plus 6, that could factor with big X. Two numbers that multiply to 6 but add to 5 are 2 and 3. So we get x plus 3 times x plus 2. The other denominator, x plus 2, that one does not factor. Now, once we have our factor denominators, we want to find the common denominator. In order to do that, we're going to look at the bigger denominator and see what factor does that denominator have that the other one is missing. So I notice that the first denominator, it has this x plus 3 that the other denominator is missing. They both have an x plus 2. So what we're going to do is multiply that second fraction by x plus 3, so that way they will then have common denominators. Now with fractions, if you multiply the denominator, you must also multiply the numerator in order to keep the fractions equivalent. Now, once we've multiplied one of the fractions, we want to actually distribute in the numerator. You can leave the denominator in factored form, but actually multiply the numerators out. So for the first one, there was no multiplication, so I'm just going to recopy that down. X squared plus 5x over x plus 3 times x plus 2 minus, and then we're going to distribute 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 3 is 9 over x plus 2 times x plus 3. Now, subtraction and addition are very similar, but there is one key difference, and that is this very next step. Once we get here, what we want to do is distribute the negative to every term in the numerator that comes after it. So then this would become minus 3x, and this will become minus 9. And then we can treat this problem like an addition problem. So then we will just combine like terms in the numerator. Now when you do this, remember that the common denominator stays the same. We do not add or change the denominator. It's still x plus 2 times x plus 3. In the numerator, we've got x squared. And then 5x minus 3x is a positive 2x. And then minus 9, there is our subtracted expression. The next thing that we want to do is find those excluded values. Remember, they come from the denominator. They're what numbers, if we were to plug them in for x, would make the denominator 0. For the first one, x plus 2, I know that x cannot equal negative 2. And for the second one, x plus 3, I know that x cannot equal negative 3. Now that we have the excluded values listed, we're going to try to simplify if we can. So looking at the numerator, we want to try to factor this expression. So I'm going to set up a little big X here. Negative 9 is on top and 2 is on the bottom. Two numbers that multiply to negative 9, but add to 2. Well, this one doesn't work. So the numerator does not factor, which means that this fraction is not going to simplify. So we have found our final answer along with the excluded values.